Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It's my pleasure to visit with you. We get together most weekday mornings, didn't yesterday, but most weekday mornings we get together at this time, 8 o'clock Central, to support our referral partners. Our goal is to address the topics that you bring forth or that we're aware that need to be addressed. We really serve two masters, one of which would be the ultimate client, helping the clients get what they want. And then secondly, we want to help you get what you want, which presumably is to generate income by helping other people. So we're consistently looking for ways, strategies, techniques to accomplish those two mutually aligned goals, getting clients funding and making money for you. So today we're really excited to launch the free funding plan. And it's depicted here on the shared screen, or it should be. It's a new page on the guaranteedfunding.org website. It serves a very specific purpose. The purpose is for us to be able to help prospects understand what they can expect, to create a funding proposal for them so they have more confidence to enroll. So this is a conversion technique is what it is. So let's go through the simple page, and then we'll start to talk about how you might be able to use this to your benefit to close more deals. All right, so we're on guaranteedfunding.org, free funding plan. You can see it here, free funding plan. So the question we begin with is, are you looking for funding to start or grow a business? We have a no-cost solution to that problem. And that's what you and I do, right? We solve problems. You can make a lot of money in our society by identifying problems that others have and providing a solution to that problem. You and I are problem solvers. So we're going to solve the problem of small businesses that's looking for funding. So what we're going to offer them specifically is a free analysis and a funding plan. So this is made available to them before they enroll, before they sign a contract. They don't have to pay anything. So that way they have comfort and certainty of what's going to happen when they do enroll. Well, why would you and I want to do this? Because most people will enroll if they will participate, get a free analysis, and allow us to present to them their funding plan. And then we just give a quick credibility statement about the background that we're going to create a free plan, no contract, no payment, free plan. And then if they want help, then we'll help them execute that plan. I was listening to Bloomberg yesterday, and they were interviewing an economic expert, and her name's Carly Fiorina, something like that. She ran for president. Forgive me for mispronouncing or forgetting her last name. But what she was clarifying is that when people don't know, when they have uncertainty, they'll typically make assumptions, and they'll make assumptions based upon their limited knowledge and experiences, and they usually will assume the worst. Let's take these flying objects that have recently been shot down. Of course, the first one off the coast of South Carolina has been identified as a China-related vessel. But the other three, we don't know exactly. And so what people do, they start making up assumptions of what it is and how bad it is, because that's just kind of human nature. So what you and I are doing, back relevant to what our world revolves around in small business literacy and funding, is that we want to take away the unknown. So instead of them saying, well, I don't know, I need funding, I'll enroll, but I don't know what's going to happen, we're going to go ahead and tell them what's going to happen first, if they wish, before they enroll. That's the point. It's a two-step process. The first step is we're going to get them pre-qualified. So to obtain a free funding plan, they're going to click here, and there's a link here, and they're going to click that, and that's going to be the intake form. As it clarifies, this is the starting point for their funding plan. We want to reiterate that there are no minimum credit scores. There's also no minimum time in business to qualify. So we don't want people to walk away from this process thinking, oh, it won't work for me, or I won't qualify, or I've tried before and I couldn't get funding. We want to dismiss that. Let's hit the reset button and let's see what we can do for them. And as you know, through our program, we guarantee a minimum of 100,000. So we just want to clarify here at the end of step one, there's no cost, there's no commitment, there's no impact to their credit score to get pre-qualified. And those are all true statements, of course. So then what happens after step one is completed, then we're able to create their funding plan. I kind of like puzzles. I don't know why I don't put puzzles together as a person, but puzzles as a pictorial, as a graphic, I think helps convey what you and I are doing. We're putting the pieces together to help the client get what they want. So we go on to explain that our team of technical advisors, we have the education, the experience, and the willingness to help you create a fundable file. And you and I have been talking a lot about this, right? And the other pages, you can go over to the credit and funding program. And this is where we have talked on prior trainings, and it's on this website, where we talk about, what does it take to be credible enough for funding, and the 3 C's. So we're not moving away from that. It's just over here on this page, we're trying to keep it pretty simple. But just so you understand, when we talk about becoming fundable, you and I know we're talking about the 3 C's. Any banking professional, I think any competent business professional, anyone involved in the funding space would agree that it's the 3 C's that matter. So we're going to help them create a fundable file. What this means is that we'll legally and ethically help you strengthen your credibility on paper to qualify for funding. So in short, we'll be able to get them an initial funding offer, and then also create a funding plan for them before they enroll, before they've spent any money, before they've made any commitments, of where we can get to. Because there's often a difference of what someone will qualify right now versus what they'll qualify for with improvement in their fundability, their credibility. And again, we want to restate that there's no risk to the client. We're going to guarantee them a minimum of 100,000 using our proven and proprietary model. And then lastly, some clients want more than 100,000. That's fine. We're not excluding them. We'll be able to work with them on larger capital raises if needed, but our guarantee is the 100,000. So what I'd like to do is get a little bit of feedback from each of you. What do you think of this free funding plan? How do you think that you could use this for your prospects that are not enrolling to help give them more understanding, more certainty, more confidence, so we can take them from being a prospect to being a client? Because that's what we want. Again, they don't need to be a client to get pre-qualified. They don't need to be a client to have a funding plan. But of course, if they want our help in executing that plan, then they would become a client. That's where the pivot would occur. So who has questions, comments, concerns? Timothy, good old Timothy. Timothy brings up a good point, and he's bringing analogies to other industries. There's many industries that will give a free consultation to help encourage the prospect to move forward to become a client. So you're right, Timothy. Free consults are common. We've been a bit hesitant to do that in the past because what we don't want to do is fill our schedule with just conversations. But if we use data, then it makes sense. And that's what we're accomplishing with the free funding plan. It does provide a free consultation, but it's data driven. It's just not conversational. People are great, but a lot of people just want to talk. Well, we don't really need to talk. We need data. And from the data, then we can create a plan, and then they can decide, do they want to move forward with that plan or not? All right. Randy says this approach should be a viable tool for gaining clients. I definitely think so. Now, how you want to use this is up to you. For us, so you could do your own funding plan, especially if you're a white label partner. But if you want us to do it, we're happy to do it, and we'll do it for free, of course. There's no loss of income to you. But this is where it would happen, here on the free funding plan. So they would come here, and they must start with this step. So we don't want to start with some scheduled call and conversation because that will just eat up your schedule. We need to start with data. When they get pre-qualified, no cost, no commitment, no impact to their credit score. Once we have that, then we can put together a proposed funding plan and then talk to them about that plan. So you can see that it's data driven. We don't seek to just have a bunch of loose conversations that will eat up your schedule, eat up your time, probably eat up your sanity. But for those prospects that need assistance in moving forward, they need more certainty, then you're welcome to use this process, and we'll certainly be using it for our internal clients. All right, so Aziz says it's best to before enroll client to do this. Yeah, I agree. Well, but it's up to you. So I started to agree, but it's up to you. Many of you are really good closers. And so if you just want to close the client, get them enrolled, that's fine. But if you're not a good closer or don't want to be doing the closing, or you need some additional, I'll say, help or assistance in getting the prospect to become a client, this is a proven way. And frankly, if they don't like the funding plan that we present to them, then they probably shouldn't become a client, right? I mean, I give you many different examples, but in general, this is going to help us have, because one of the goals that we mentioned back on January 1st or around then is we want to have 100% client satisfaction in 2023, 100% client satisfaction. Well, part of that is meeting or exceeding client expectations. And so with this approach, we can make sure that we're all on the same page. Now, we've always been on the same page that we guarantee a minimum of $100,000. But in terms of the client understanding what we're going to do to get from here to there. Because what could be, let's flip back over to the credit and funding program, it could be that the client currently does not have adequate credit capacity and or collateral to get the funding that they need. That could happen. And so the beauty of it is you and I offer a resource, the credit and funding program, that most likely, depending on the client circumstances, can resolve the credit, the capacity, the collateral issues, so we can overcome those barriers. So we're really accomplishing two things with the free funding plan. It's allowing us to understand the client's circumstances. It's also allowing us to demonstrate how our resources can move the client from not being fundable or not fundable for the amount of capital they need to what they need. But we knew that we needed to make this super simple. So there's not some long drawn out form where they have to provide us a lot of personal confidential data. It's a subset of data that's needed. It's accessed by clicking here, and then we're able to actually get their funding proposal. Let's go ahead and click on it so it comes up. So when we click on that, what it's going to do is going to bring over to this screen, has our phone numbers. If they have questions, they can give us a direct call. This is answered live, 40 hours a week, plus or minus. And it lets them know we're going to be able to get them pre-qualified instantly, take the first step towards a loan without affecting your credit score, get pre-qualified now. Our proprietary software uses a soft pull, in other words, no impact to their credit scores, to match credit history with loan criteria, providing a reliable pre-qualification without impacting your credit. So this allows us to take a look at where the client is at this moment, what they can qualify for now, and then, as I mentioned on the funding plan, then also how we're going to get from where we're at to where we need to be. Because if we don't know where we're at, then we can't create a plan. Let's say you and I wanted to take a trip this weekend. Well, where are we going? We're going to go to Vegas. Okay, well, I think we all know Las Vegas is in Nevada. There's a great airport there. We could also drive there, but we need to figure out where we're starting from. Are we starting out from my house? Are we starting out from your house? Where are we starting from? So the pre-qualification gives us that baseline. So the pre-qualification isn't designed to tell people that they don't qualify for the program, but it does allow us to do a better job of creating a funding plan of how to get from here to there, because we need to know where here is and also where there is. So they provide just a basic set of information that feeds automatically into us, and then we're able to then put the funding plan together for the client. All right. So Jeanette asked a good question. How is the prospect tied back to her? So if I were you, what I would do, Jeanette, if you wanted to use this tool, is each of you have a free landing page, right? And it looks just like this, just like this. If I were you, what I would do before you sent someone over to the free funding plan, if I were you, I would first go over and submit them on your landing page and put this information in, because then, because this box is coded to you, not on this page specifically, but if you're using your link is coded to you. So let's say Jeanette has a prospect that is Joe Smith at gmail.com 555-555-5555. So Jeanette could go ahead and submit that in, submit Joe Smith here, and then turn around thereafter and help Joe create a free funding plan. So as long as you submitted the client first through your landing page, it's in our the client, he or she, is in this CRM and coded to you. So you're exactly right, Jeanette. You would want to submit them first here and then have them do the free funding plan. That is exactly right. Because otherwise they could orphan off. If they came just directly here, as you can see, we've made it super simple. There's nowhere on here asking for referral source, and there's nowhere on here asking for referral source. But what you and I know is we don't want to count on having to ask people for who referred them, because often they won't know, or they won't be accurate, or they won't list it. So for our affiliates and white label partners, I would start by bringing them in. Start by bringing them in, submitting them here. Now they're in our system. Now they're linked to you. Then if they don't close, if they don't want to go ahead and enroll, go ahead and then use the free funding plan. Very good point, Jeanette. Now, keep in mind, once you've submitted them here, then they may just go ahead and enroll, right? And they're welcome to enroll and still get a free funding plan. But let's go back and see what other questions, comments, concerns any of you have about the free funding plan. Got a good group on today. Andrea, Alfred, Bernard, Charles, Jeanette, Pauline, Randy, many others. Anyone have any questions or comments on the free funding plan? So it's a new resource, no strings attached. It's a great way for us to be able to help the prospect understand what to expect, build their confidence, and help them move forward from being a prospect to being a client. We'll do the consults. We'll create the funding plan. It's not a burden of you. You don't have to learn to do something new. You don't have some new work to do. Essentially, if you bring the prospects in, we'll do the work. Questions, comments, concerns on the free funding plan? All right, well, I encourage you to use this available tool. It just went live this morning. We're ready to start helping small businesses, help you close more deals. And if you think this would be helpful for any of your prospects, you can do so. Next Monday, we plan on rolling out our email campaign, which means we're going to provide each of you that care for it a sequence of emails that you can use if you want to do some drip marketing. And this certainly will be part of it. I forget if this is email 3 or 4 of the 5 email sequence, but getting prospects engaged in this way is a great way to help close more deals. And it is, in fact, part of the process. Okay, I got an important point before we go. Joe's asking, and let's go back to it. So you do not fill this out for other people. Do not fill this out for other people. Let's do it one more time. You do not fill this out for other people. You don't put your prospects' information in, because I'm assuming you don't have power of attorney. So we don't do that and you wouldn't do that. This has to be filled out and authorized by the prospect themselves, by the individual, not for you to fill out, not for us to fill out. Don't do that. You could get in trouble. I don't think we'd get in trouble, but you can get in trouble. So this is only to be completed by the prospect, not by the lead source. Thank you for asking that and clarifying that. All right. Well, thanks everyone. We'll see you back Monday morning. Have a great day and a great weekend. Talk to you soon.